Why, hello there. Welcome to December and the start of our holiday season. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope your Festival of Lights is going beautifully. I thought today we could start a sort of Advent series. I know some people light a candle every week in December, and I thought this week we could light a sort of metaphorical podcast candle in honor of hope. So this is sort of our Advent podcast for hope. And I thought the exercise we could go through today is the 100 solutions exercise. Which is where you come up with a challenge or a problem or a situation that you'd like to see corrected, and you come up with 100 solutions. And the idea is to get past, the 3 or 4 or 5 most top of mind solutions that seem most pragmatic, and to get into this more creative place to see what other opportunities are out there, to see what you might have overlooked, to see if there's a solution that's so dead simple you're amazed you didn't think of it before. So I was thinking right before I started recording, what kind of thing would I like to come up with solutions for? And what I came up with is, I think, actually very hopeful. So in 2 years, I am going to celebrate my 40th birthday, and my husband and I are going to celebrate 20 years together. It's a big deal. And my birthday is at the end of July, and our anniversary is at the very beginning of September. So I was thinking maybe to celebrate those two things, we could go in, for example, August to England and do one of those walking tours of England where you walk along the roads of the English countryside, and it's basically backpacking, except the service picks up all your luggage and ferries it over to a hotel at the end of your day's trail. So you walk through the countryside and hit up the restaurants, etc. But when you get to the next town on your trail, you stop, you have all your clothes, you sleep in a real bed, and you have a shower, and you have a hot meal, and in the morning you have breakfast, and then off you walk again. And this sounds great to me. And there are two things I really need to solve in order to do this. One is setting aside enough money to comfortably pay for it. And two is getting myself in physical shape so I can walk 12 miles a day, several days in a row, without getting frapped and blistered and hurting my back and being miserable and being too slow and needing to get rescued by, a car service. What is Uber in England? Is Uber in England? I don't know. Email me and tell me. So I thought I have a pen and paper here, and I thought I could start the solutionizing and make a tally mark for each for each solution I come up with, and then I'll know when I've hit 100. You ready? I'm ready. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna write down. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't arithmetic well, but I think I'm writing down some numbers so I know how many tallies I've made, and I can kind of self-organize as I make my solutions. I am almost done. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. Now I'll know how many tallies I've made. Okay, solution number 1 is begin transferring money automatically into a special account for this vacation. Solution number 2 is begin a slow, regular walking routine that adds percentage of mileage at regular intervals. Solution number 3 is to research England and find out more about its history, particularly in its scenic country areas. Solution number 4 is to go online and search for coupons so I can get good deals. Solution number 5 is begin experimenting with different shoes to see what kind of shoes will support my feet most comfortably as I do all of that walking. Solution number 6 is get a walking buddy to train with. Solution 7 is announce on Facebook that I'm beginning to train for these walks in order to be held accountable. The next solution is I could find an online forum where other people are training for long walks or indeed walking tours, and communicate with them and exchange our stories and connect. Another solution is to begin figuring out which garments I should wear: socks, pants, shirts, hats, to see what is most comfortable. Another thing is figuring out my walking gear, like canteen or backpack or harnesses with pockets, I don't know, fanny packs, and see what I like to have with me on a long walk. Let's see. I could begin cross-training by rock climbing. I could begin cross-training by doing calisthenics. I could take up some light jogging to build my speed. I could research power walking to see how to walk quickly. I could experiment with taking those long, slow walks that I found a blog post about, where you just poke around and look and don't hurry your pace, but you do get out there and get some mileage. I could create my own walking training plan according to my creative devices, or I could research somebody else's prescribed walking plan and follow that. I could go walking with Zombies Run and other games by Six to Start and other exercise gamification developers. I could research the laws of walking on English roads and fair usage and common usage things. I could check out some maps of English geography. I could go onto Google Earth in virtual reality and sort of walk around in the areas I'm interested in and see what they look like and cross-reference them with other places and kind of get my bearings in advance. I could hold a yard sale to raise money. I could sell a product on Etsy to raise money. I could hold some more vocal workshops to raise money. I could hold a few more reflective journaling retreats to raise money. I could offer more music classes to raise money. I could self-publish a book and put it on Amazon and promote it to raise money. I could kennel rats to make money. I could buy a llama and shear its wool and sell the wool for money. That's a little outlandish, but we'll mark it down because it's, I don't even know. I can try to barter services that I can offer in exchange for airfare to England or a walking tour while I'm there. I can ask my husband to just pay for it all. That's lame. I could get really involved with a long ass series of books and say that I can only listen to it when I'm out doing training walks. Like, what's that Robert Jordan series that Brandon Sanderson had to finish, like The Wheel of Time? Could start that. Just walk through the whole thing, then do Neil Stephenson stuff. That'll take for freaking ever. We've done about 30 solutions, about 32, I believe. Oh my gosh, I'm only like a third of the way there. I could start a walking club and have a whole gaggle of friends who walk with me. I could do that thing, that app where you have to pay money if you don't do the exercise you said you would do. I could join a gym. I could get a personal trainer. I could try to walk all of the trails in the East Bay Park system by a certain time. I could cross-train by riding a bike around town. I could get really good at stretching and limbering up. I could gosh, this is a little bit more difficult than I realized it would be. I could begin that strength training thing where you push cars around, like up and down a deserted parking lot, and you're just like pushing cars. I could do strength training by way of like cross training. I could learn some parkour techniques to get my body in shape. I could do restorative yoga. I could do vinyasa style yoga or ashtanga, or let's see, I could take a Pilates class. I could work with my diet. Maybe going vegan would be a good way to feel better in my body, or for that matter, paleo or keto, or maybe maybe I could go fruitarian. None of those seem like a good idea for my body. Let's see, what else could I do? I could make a wish on a dandelion puff to be physically fit enough to make it. I could put some money in a 2-year CD so it will appreciate. I could put the trip on credit and pay it off over time. I could babysit sometimes for extra money. I could be a content blogger and get paid that way, although I've never seen an actual viable system for that. I could mow people's lawns. That's ridiculous. I don't even mow my own lawn, and I barely know how, and I don't have, but it's a it's a possible solution. I could get a group of people to join us and help split the costs and add to the sociability. I could ask for money for the trip well in advance for my birthday. I could throw a party and ask friends to donate to the trip as part of celebrating our 20th anniversary. I could begin running an underground restaurant to cover costs. I could crochet cute baby blankets and sell them on Etsy. I could do a week-long workshop for reflective journaling that costs a shit ton of money and save up that. I could do the same thing with voice lessons or piano lessons. I could compose a bunch of different pieces of music and sell them on Noteflight. I could also do that with Sheet Music Plus. I could set up a Patreon for reflective journaling and shunt some of the money from that into the vacation fund. Let's see. So we're making good progress, actually. I could ask a travel agent to arrange our travel for us and give us clear numbers for what to expect so we know how to create our budget. I could create a formal budget for this trip. I could begin transferring my money to several different accounts each month at differing rates, and each account could be for one specific item on the budget. I could reduce costs in my day-to-day life now in order to have more money for this later. I could do more of that original strength training that I so enjoy and that is so helpful for my body. I can make sure to sleep in positions that are good for my back to maintain my back health. I can ask for time to walk and arrange for babysitting and just give myself the freedom I need to spend out there on the road getting mileage. I could invest in a good hat and an armband for my phone so I can have a shaded face and some entertainment while I'm out there walking. I could invest in an extra battery for my phone, a kind of auxiliary battery pack thing. I feel like I'm missing something really obvious, but I can't tell what that would be. For every birthday and Christmas, until then I could ask my friends and relatives just to get me money for this vacation. I could begin shopping only at thrift stores for my clothes in order to save money. I could, you know that thing where people are like, can you power your house by pedaling on a bicycle? I wish I could do something where I like power my house, which saves us money by pushing pedals on a bicycle so I get more fit. That would be great. But, so stationary bicycle might be useful for cross training. A treadmill might be applicable. I could get one of those under desk cycles for a little extra movement during the day. I can remind myself to get up and move once an hour and keep my body from being all collapsed and creaky and icky during the day. I could get one of those posture wearables so my body is in a good alignment and doesn't get more wear and tear than it needs. I could buy some lottery tickets and hope that I win big. I could go to Vegas and play poker. I don't even know the rules of poker. That's kind of funny. I could begin making bets with my friends about the outcomes of certain major events. And just using, my prescience and my keen understanding of world affairs to make that happen. I could begin buying my books only at discount stores. I could set up a subscription service that people pay for monthly. I could start doing live streaming classes for which people pay. I could set up a referral system where my customers get a discount if they bring me new business. I could make more pay what you want printable resources that people can pay me for when they use them and find them useful. So we're up to 5 times 18, whatever that is. 18 times 5 is 40. We're up to 90. We're actually up to 91 because we're one tally mark into 19. So we're doing pretty good here, actually. Let's see. I apologize for that. I was knocking my pen's cap onto the desk as I thought. I could design some permaculture yards for other people and they could pay me as their designer. I could take on some consulting work for small businesses. I could start limited time workshop series of private lessons for people. Well, they come see me for a series of 5 weeks and then they're done. I could advertise my coaching via decluttering curriculum more heavily and hope that people use and then buy because they found it useful. I could help other people declutter their houses, like in person, helping them do the decluttering. I could do some house sitting. God, I don't want to do that. I could play the piano at senior centers and make a few bucks doing that. I could put myself out there as an accompanist for hire. And for our 100th solution, I could learn some parkour techniques by way of cross-training. That was kind of ridiculous, but I did like the idea of making more printables, about promoting the decluttering coaching thing more heavily. I liked the idea of finding a travel agent who will give us clear costs and expectations. I like the idea of doing workshop style one-on-one lessons. There was some stuff there to kind of gnaw on and some stuff that just made me laugh. And that's how this is meant to be, is kind of whimsical and silly and just get you outside of the normal train of thought. I hope this was useful to you and entertaining. I hope you try this exercise yourself because it's pretty simple, but it's really effective. And for me, it inspires a whole bunch of possibility and motivation and like the sense of hope. Oh my gosh. Bookending, and hope is what we're all about at this time in December. So happy December holiday to you, and I'll catch you in the next episode.